One of the UK's most loved yet elusive semi-aquatic creatures had all but disappeared from the UK in the 1970s. But now, the future is looking a bit brighter for this treasured mammal. Wild otters underwent a disastrous and sudden decline here in the UK in the 1950s and 60s. A species that requires clean waterways to survive, the combined effect of habitat loss, pollution and pesticide use decimated populations. But now they seem to be making a bit of a comeback. We've come to the UK Wild Otter Trust based in Devon to find out more about these mysterious mammals. The Trust rescues and rehabilitates orphaned otter cubs, caring for them and continuing their development so eventually they can be released back into the wild. Dave Webb, who founded the charity, works hands-on with the otters every day. And we wanted to find out more about how exactly you care for orphaned otter cubs. And just as we arrived, we were welcomed with a surprise.
There we go. There we go.
Oh my God. Colin is a 12-week-old orphan who was found wandering alone on a road in mid-Wales. When otters are this small, they will not survive without their mothers, so he was picked up and brought to the Trust. For his first few days it was touch and go, but thankfully he has now grown from strength to strength and is quite the little character. Ensuring he is putting on enough weight is a vital part of the rehabilitation process, so daily weighing is all part of his care. And what's a healthy weight for this age?
So this one now, probably about 900 to 1,000 grams. So when he stops wriggling, 1472.
He's just adorable. And how long will you have him here with you?
The whole process is a year long, and then when he reaches about 1300 grams, he'll then go back outside to an outside pen, where then it's the next stage of the rehab. So this part is what a mother would be doing in the wild, so making a fuss of him, pushing him around and letting him have a feel his feet. And then he'll go about big outside, and then it'll be hands off, and you won't have any fingers to nibble.
The next stage of Colin's rehabilitation will be hands off from the team when he moves to his outside enclosure. Otters never lose their wild instincts, and as he gets older will become more wary of humans and will give a nasty bite if he feels threatened. Despite being hand-raised, in no time at all he will become very wild. Orphans will stay with Dave and the team for around a year and will go through different stages of rehabilitation, starting with hands-on enrichment, then to an outdoor pen, and finally into an enclosure with thick scrub so they can get used to hiding in the undergrowth. As part of his development, Dave will take him outside once a day. This is incredibly important to strengthen his legs. Being semi-aquatic, otters are excellent swimmers and are known for their stocky muscles in the back legs. Ensuring Colin starts to develop these muscles is crucial for his progression as he becomes an adolescent otter. Wild otters live in holes along riverbanks called holts, and a holt will have a few different entrances to protect against flooding, with at least one entrance being above water level. In the wild, Colin would stay in the holt for around 10 weeks, then, with encouragement from his mother, begin to learn how to swim. But without his mother around, Dave has the task of teaching him, with swimming lessons taking place in the bath. We wanted to find out a bit more from Dave about the charity and the threats that otters currently face, as despite populations bouncing back, the species still requires conservation efforts to fully recover.
We focus on the rehabilitation of orphaned otter cubs. We've currently got 7 here, All the pens are designed to bring them on from a really small age. So we've got the hospital in the corner for when they're first found, which is usually a few weeks old. And then we bring them up through the system of pens up until the last big pen, which is big, really wild. And then we release them back to the wild after a year.
And on average, how many cubs do you get brought into you each year?
Usually it's 1 or 2, so it's not a big number. This year we've had 7, and potentially it could have been 11 or 12. Sadly, some of the ones that we collected had either been poisoned or were beyond help, and we had to have them put to sleep, unfortunately. But it's all about the awareness, really. I mean, people are starting now to just know us, see us as an organisation, which really helps. They're certainly becoming more active during the day, so they've always been diurnal, they're not naturally nocturnal. Because the awareness has been raised about otters, people are more prone to see them, if that makes sense. So it's all about getting the education out, raising the awareness about the species, really.
And we've seen with some of the care that you do here, it's quite hands-on, but they are wild animals, aren't they?
Yeah, when they're small, like the cub we've got from Mid-Wales, they need to be handled because that's what the mother would do. But as we progress them through this system here, they become less and less reliant and friendly, which is exactly what we want. As you've seen earlier today, the cub in that pen, she's on the point of release, so she's sort of really off and not really interested in humans, which is great. Retreats when she's grabbed some food, and she's just wild. So you've got to respect them for the wild. Always keep that respect, because if you don't, that's when you're going to get bitten.
And no one wants to get bitten?
No, not particularly. I've been bitten 3 times by a small cub, so it's not something I'd recommend. I can think of better pastimes.
Yeah, exactly.